are these people?
Anita Wood, thank you. A new monthly subscriber to INN newsletter. So all these people already have contributed and supported. The ways that you can do that if you're not already on that board, and we appreciate everyone that is and continue to be on that board and continue to support. Cash App, $ Indie News Network, ko-fi.com/Indie News Network, paypal.me/Indie News Network. And then we've got the Substacks, INNnewsletter.com, IndieMediaToday.com, and our self-hosted website that has a Stripe plugin at IndieNewsNow.com. And then you go to the Keep the Media Free, and you can hook up a monthly or one-time contribution over there. We're going to get to Tel Aviv and Israel's attack on unprovoked attack, again, that we covered last week, that Israel attacked Iran. It hasn't gotten any better, but Iran, of course, retaliated this week, and we saw some areas in Israel get hit. We learned that the Iron Dome isn't as impenetrable as everybody thought it was, that it can't stop hypersonic missiles. And apparently Israel thinks that bombing hospitals is bad again, which I thought was really interesting, considering that they've bombed hospitals, every one of them, as Laura from Normal Island News points out, after bombing every hospital in Gaza to find the non-existent Hamas command center. The Israeli government is hiding in a command center under Ichilov Hospital in Tel Aviv. But don't worry, though, it's fine when Israel uses human shields.
Got him!
Oh, man. So, again, we did strike Iran and we did a preemptive, quote unquote, or, there's another word for that. But on June 19th, this was 2 days in advance, Kyle Anzalone, another Indie Media Award honoree over at Libertarian Institute and antiwar.com, had it.
Pause.
And this,
can someone do one of those line drawings that, you know what I'm talking about, where they put the, Trump's leaning into Melania? Can someone do that with that photo, please? He's not strong, very weak. Woman's the strength in the relationship. Look at the strong, upright lines. Trump leaning in.
He's leaning. Okay. So, again, this is before we attacked, but he got word, and I don't know where they get their source from, but American officials are gearing up for a U.S. strike on Iran that could come as soon as this weekend, even though Trump said it would be 2 weeks. You'd think about it for 2 weeks. U.S. bases and diplomatic facilities in the region are also preparing for a potential retaliation if President Trump orders a strike on the Islamic Republic. Bloomberg reports, quote,
Tactical nuke incoming!
Maybe. Senior officials are preparing for the possibility of a strike on Iran in the coming days, according to people familiar with the matter, as Israel and the Islamic Republic continue to exchange fire. Again, did Iran fire at Israel first? I refresh my memory, because no, they didn't. And now, did Iran fire at the United States first before we apparently attacked them? No. The article adds that, quote, some of them pointed to potential plans for a weekend strike. Right? Well, that was pretty accurate. The sources explained that Trump's current strategy is hoping that threatening to attack Iran would lead Tehran to comply with his demand for unconditional surrender. On Wednesday, when he was asked if he was going to order a strike on Iran, the president replied, I may do it. I may not do it. I mean, nobody knows what I'm going to do. Except Israel knew the whole time what he was going to do. Tehran said it will not negotiate under duress. As well, they should not. They are a sovereign nation. Iran does not negotiate under duress, shall not accept peace under duress, and certainly not with a has-been warmonger clinging to relevance, the Iranian UN mission said. The Wall Street Journal reported that late Tuesday, Trump approved the strike plans for Iran, but withheld authorizing the attack. Washington was taking steps to prepare for war. Newsweek reports viewing satellite imagery that shows American aircraft have been removed from Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. All right. A statement from the Pentagon said, quote, "We recommend that U.S. citizens in Qatar take similar precautions." They weren't recommending an evacuation yet, but they were getting it. They weren't like
Pentagon.
those guys.
Pentagon.
The U.S. has also removed some of its diplomatic staff and their families from Israel, but I believe that was voluntary. And now the airport's closed, so they can't unless they get on a boat somewhere.
Did
Right?
I do that?
So I wanted to point out that Kyle had it a couple of days in advance, but it wasn't just Kyle. It was Bloomberg pulling it and the Wall Street Journal pulling it. And everybody kind of knew that they were planning to quite possibly do this. I think a lot of people didn't think they would actually do it. And they did. So we go to Carey Wedler.
Take a stand against evil.
Against those who would commit and sponsor acts of terror, who kill innocent civilians, deprive human
God,
beings
burn
of
that
basic
dress.
dignity, indoctrinate their youth, use religion to justify brutality, whose hearts are filled with hate, and who collectivize and dehumanize millions of people. That all sounds pretty evil, so you should stop supporting the state of Israel, whose rulers commit and sponsor acts of terror, kill innocent civilians, deprive people of basic human dignity, indoctrinate their youth, use religion to justify brutality, whose hearts are filled with hate, and who collectivize and dehumanize millions of people. The point isn't Israel bad, Iran and Hamas good. Questioning the Israeli government is not the same thing as being anti-Semitic or siding with Hamas or the Iranian government, which, unfun fact, rose to power as a revolt against a CIA-imposed autocrat. The biggest extremists rule through force and violence while pushing false dichotomies of good and evil to justify their own brutality and inhumanity as they condemn it in others. They propagandize poor souls into cheering on carnage and abuse when their perceived team does it. Now is a great time to stop letting them manipulate your heart, mind, and spirit into supporting murder, regardless of who's committing it.
Seems pretty obvious to me, but apparently people need to be reminded who the real extremists are. Who has not, again, attacked anyone, who didn't even threaten to attack anyone, but they were certainly attacked. I mean, this whole thing has been the Wesley Clark plan. So let's just remind MAGA just how much they fell for it again in the missile bombing of United States enters war with Iran without congressional approval, of course, because he said he didn't need permission and he'll just do it. And who's going to stop him? And that's exactly what he just did. So great, man. That's really what I had brought for where we're at so far, because that's really all we know so far. So
Yeah.
fuck Trump,
You
fuck
mean-
Israel. Go ahead.
You mean we don't just give our immediate reaction to what happens? We try to find out what happened and then report. You know,
It's a
we ask
novel. It's a
questions
novel
first.
concept. I know.
Crazy.
Report first, ask questions later.
I'm telling you, it just became clicks and get there first.
Breaking.
Really.
Breaking news. Breaking.
Report first, ask questions later.
By the way, we did a story about a propagandist a couple of weeks ago on this show that nobody else has exposed or talked about. And that person somehow became pretty important in disseminating the White House talking points with regard to how Trump has always said he wanted to prevent a nuclear Iran, except that if you actually watched the facts about what had happened and the IAEA stuff and Richard Medhurst's breakdown of it, Iran was never close to having a nuclear weapon. They hadn't enriched the uranium that was necessary, and they certainly hadn't done it under the JCPOA, which, as a reminder, Trump tore up and we bailed out of, not Iran. But somehow they need to follow some kind of a standard. And why is it that Iran can't have a nuclear weapon, but Israel can? When Israel's been destroying countries all over the region? Oh, it's because we're backing them. Oh, right. Okay. Steve Gill, last 24 hours, 25,000 Israelis requested exit passes, and they've been denied because Bibi wants to use them as human shields, apparently.
Denied.
Stairway denied. We are
Anyway.
demonetized over on YouTube. We don't want you to pay via the platforms. We would much prefer for you to use one of these methods to support the independent media you want to see like this. Cash App, $, Indie News Network. Thank you to people that do that. Ko-fi.com/Indie News Network will actually pop something up on screen here. PayPal.me/Indie News Network. IndieNewsNow.com is our website. We're actually live there right now if you go to the Watch Live section. And then we've got our Substacks, but we're also now live, okay, at INNnewsletter.com for the network, and at IndieMediaToday.com, which is my Substack, where all the clips and segments from this show every week are cut up and sent out as daily emails, as their own kind of posts, whatever you want to call them. IndieNewsNow.com, INNnewsletter.com, IndieMediaToday.com. So many places you can go in order to support independent media, because we need it more than ever. Again, I love you all, and see you soon. I don't know when, but we'll see you soon. See you, everyone.
Bye. Have a great time.
Bye-bye!
No! We just fucking lost the stream!
I guess this isn't such an awful place. Is that what you want me to say? You prove it's possible to sleep for days, and I still think you're right here awake. The cost of living isn't much to make, but God, it's so hard to say. And when they told you everything was safe, were you safe? Were you safe?